Hello, hello. I'm back. I don't believe I streamed yesterday. No, I didn't. Damn it, where's the fucking scene? There it is. That would be because yesterday was a mess of a day. I'm having a lot of those. And, when I finally got done dealing with the mess, I was simply so fucking wiped that, following the nap I took, I didn't feel like it. All ass. But today I will be concluding the Black Mage quests. I should have the time for that, because I have somewhere in the, at a stretch, I have 5 hours. I intend to end within 5 hours, ideally before 5 hours. And honestly, I'm pretty sure about 5 hours is how long it takes to do an entire class through job quests, give or take, in my experience. So, shouldn't need all that time. Even with the addition of the Pandemonium epilogue, which I will be starting with. I really want to open with the Pandemonium epilogue and get it out of the way, because I didn't know it was a thing until... fuck, I think actually last night when someone mentioned it offhandedly, and I was like, the what? But yeah, I think it has the potential to diffuse certain elements of my MSQ theories. Insofar as, depending on what or if it speaks on the Heart of Sabik and / or its origins, that could throw a pretty substantial wrench into my hypotheses surrounding the Serifs and them or their ultimate, whatever the fuck, capital G god in the setting. If they aren't a player, or if it reframes who and what the Serifs are in some way, then I may want to rethink my theories about what this next arc is, because I've been seeing a lot of talk. I guess I'll throw up this. My theories as they stand for the overarching MSQ, like what we're going into in this godless saga, is that over the next like fucking 5 expansions, Evercold included, we are going to be building up to this controlling hand on reality, which is the Serifs, or the Grand Serif, which includes the Serifs, or some other genuinely ultimate being. This being whatever is actually responsible for deciding what gets a soul, and how the nature of reality works, and fate, and etc. And we, as the Warrior of Light, have to go around, fully rejoin ourselves. Actually speaking, if during the course of Evercold we acquire the fragment of Azem's soul that exists on the 4th, I think I will be vindicated, but we'll see. And we collect all of the shards of Azem to become the full 14/14ths ancient soul Azem, with all of our memories and personality, etc. And then we go and we fight capital G God, the Grand Serif, and we either defeat them, or through the course of fighting them, convince them of the sanctity of life, or the unbridled human spirit, or whatever, because maybe they're planning on hitting the big old reset button on the universe, or whatever their deeper motivations are. And then in the aftermath of this, we realize, well, shit, I'm officially the full soul of Azem, and we have to go back in time to the unsundered world to, like, make sure things follow the proper course of history. So essentially, the Azem that we have been hearing about in scattered fragments that Emmett Selk knew and Vana mentored and etc. was in fact just us. It was just the player character. And you know, they leave it open that, oh, you know, Azem and his wanderings would vanish occasionally, and that was just the in-universe excuse for whenever your character just decides to fuck off back to like present day to run raids with his buddies, you know, sit down with tea with a Flamine or whatever else. And then of course, you know, part of that is that you know how your character finally ends, and it's all a big bootstrap paradox. Where did the soul of Azem come from? Came from Azem. What do you mean? I don't know. Anyway, on to what this is. A lot of my theory hinges on the fact they brought off Ultima again with the Heart of Sabik, and the Heart of Sabik is just original Auracite from the original true High Seraph. It's like, why bring it up again other than to explain what the Heart of Sabik is? The Heart of Sabik didn't have to be Auracite. It could have just been some piece of ancient technology, kind of like how the key appears to be. It's just unsundered ancient technology, likely made by Azem, but you know, to be confirmed. Why bring it up again? Why pull the Seraphs back into the story? I mean, Athena literally casts the spell Ultima, and you know, it's an interesting thing to bring up and not do anything with. It's a little Chekhov's gunny in that way. So, yeah. Also, I would have done this way sooner if I knew it existed. I guess I missed it in the patch notes. What would be even funnier is if, like, I go, because apparently it came out in 7.1, is if I go back to my 7.1 stream and I mention it, like, oh yeah, I gotta go fucking do that thing, fucking almost 2 years ago, and I'm sitting here now like, oh yeah, I just completely fucking forgot about it. I don't rewatch my VODs, so I suppose I'll never know. Anyway, I don't believe I have any further ado to waste time on, so I'm just gonna clear this out, and we'll get right into it. Oh, you must be Arentel. Why, you look exactly as Professor Cullen described. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. I'm the professor's new assistant, you see. His stories of your foray into pandemonium have been an endless well of knowledge and entertainment. In fact, there is a small matter that has arisen with regard to the facility that he wishes to discuss with you. Thus, my seeking you out. He asks that you stop at Aporia at your earliest convenience. Professor Cullen can fill you in on the details better than I, so please visit him at Aporia when you're able. Arendelle, you are ever a sight for sore eyes. I trust you've been well since last we spoke. I'd say so, yeah. Good, good. Now, as much as I'd like to reminisce, it will serve us both better to cut to the quick. I asked you here to discuss a matter concerning Ericthonius, whom I'm sure you remember. I certainly do, for his memories reside within me still. Every so often, my mind's eye glimpses the grim spectacle of the final days, though there are also visions of a simpler time. In one, I saw a warder under siege by colleagues. They demanded to know why a tiny Erichthonius was running amok in the halls of Pandemonium. Upon hearing that the mammoth was created out of profound admiration, my past self gave only a rueful smile. Then Themis would have been a far superior choice of subject. Alas, I suppose you've never seen the man. An inadvertently revealing deflection, we believe, as Themis' duties as emissary kept him away from Pandemonium. Erichthonius doubtless grew to miss his dear friend. And we know that what Themis looked like, so we thought, why not make a mammoth here and send it as a gift? We employed a local artisan to take care of the first step. The resulting work is masterful indeed. Since you are the only one among us who can return to Pandemonium, might I ask you to deliver this to Erichthonius? You don't think you'd want a doll that looks like me too? Can you imagine if they... There's no way they could, or... I mean... Yeah, no, there's no way. The discretionary portion of our funding only extends so far, alas, though he very well might. As I recall more of his memories, I've noticed that he seldom expressed his own desires. Perhaps it was an unspoken rule in the Society of the Ancients. I think pretty much guaranteed. Nonetheless, I would very much like to do something for him. A small kindness is the least we owe him. From everything we've seen of their society, it was like distilled selflessness to a like kind of disordered degree. See Hermes and their complete lack of a like mental health system. Like counseling and shit just wasn't a thing. Because, man, dude, you like feel bad. It's kind of fucking self-centered, don't you think? I imagine you can still reach Pandemonium from the Neus and Elpis. Once there, the keywords will surely assist you in tracking him down. Given the peaceful state of Pandemonium at past, I see no reason that the keyword wouldn't allow you a moment of Erichthonius' time. That topic has been keeping us quite busy as of late. Namiji, I think, and Rissino have been a great help in making sense of all these fabulous tales. I shall call them at once so we can share our findings thus far. Our research into the heart of Sabik has led us through many magnificent legends and tales from bygone civilizations, some of which mention, or at least hint at, the presences of Athena, Orosite, and the High Seraph Ultima. While we have formed an operating theory based on our findings, it is impossible for us to confirm its feasibility. Given your experience with the High Seraph, however, I can think of no one better with whom to discuss it. Although we know not the precise timing of the High Seraph's visit to the star, we do know that Athena somehow came into possession of a mysterious crystal said to be the source of the destructive magic known as Ultima. According to La Habrea, it was Athena who gave this crystal the name of Orosite, and from her tireless research was born the Heart of Sabik. The Heart of Sabik contained not only Athena's memories, but a concentration of aether unlike anything we have observed. Even a small portion of it could level mountains. It did, in fact, level Castrum Marianum not so long ago. Records of your previous encounter with the Habrea imply that the heart was, for a time, in the hands of the Allegan Empire. Doubtless, it was the Ascian himself who gifted it to them, thus sowing the seeds of calamity. The Allegans made little progress towards penetrating its mysteries, but some scholars attribute the fact that they were able to use it at all to theoretical encounters between Alleg's researchers and the High Seraph. Regardless of its journey, however, we do know that the Heart of Sabik returned to La Habrea's clutches soon after the Fourth Umbral Calamity. The rest hardly bears going over again. Tracing the legends of Orsite back to their source suggests that the High Seraph may be the cause of countless tragedies, including our most recent one. Regardless of the Orsite's source, however, it was Athena's bottomless ambition that set the wheels of tragedy in motion. I found one of La Habrea's remarks most odd. While we were discussing Athena, he said that he was a fool to think she could be confined. He didn't elaborate on the statement, but I think there's a possibility that Pandemonium was built not as a prism for failed creations, but to contain his very own wife. We already know that he was well aware of the influence Orsite had on Athena. It is not beyond the realm of possibility that Pandemonium's true purpose was to keep her isolated from the other ancients. Even so, she had freedom enough to continue her research outside of La Habrea's purview. Perhaps it was his love for her that kept him from tightening his grip on her activities. So far, nothing that rules out my MSQ theories. I was research. Fortunately for my assistants and I, my ordeal has left me none the worse for wear. I'm back at work with characteristic aplomb. Well, as much aplomb as can be mustered when reviewing the many records which have piled up in my absence. Of course, I made the proper shows of gratitude to Scholar Montagane and Master Fortuneau for their efforts to search for me. Master Fortuneau was stone-faced, claiming he had only done his duty. The Scholar, on the other hand, seemed most eager to learn my every detail. It takes all sorts, I suppose. On to Pandemonium. One of these days, fortune carrots. I really have to get the flame snake. I really want that mount. I want that mount enough to spend like 7 million on it. Just paying 7 other guys to carry my ass through P8 Savage, I think it is. I could do that literally anytime, actually. I have the gil. I have the suspicion the orchestration role is just this theme. What is playing right now? Are you returned to us so soon, Arntel? Not as amiss, I hope. The past brings a gift. I forget if we ever revealed the word time traveler. And this gift is for Ericthonius, you say, a man much in demand of late. People expect great things from him now, greater than he's prepared for. By his estimation, thus he is at this very moment studying at the words of La Habrea. Under his father's tutelage, he hopes to gain further mastery over the creations here, that he might one day become Keyword himself. Although Master La Habrea's harsh methods have more than once driven him to the verge of surrender, his determination to prove himself always drags him back from the brink. But they have so little time. He'll keep at it, I'm sure of it. You speak as if you've already seen it come to pass. Though he would doubtless find that encouraging, I wonder if he would rather your reunion occur after he has come into his own. That said, I understand why you wish to be there when he sees your little Themis simulacrum. Would that I could witness his reaction myself. Keyword Hegemon. We received word from Ericthonius. He says he'll be he'll soon be returning. His message is well received. Yes, I see in this a tidy solution. When he arrives, can you tell him to attend me here? Say that there is something I would show him. I want you to choose a suitably dark place from which to eavesdrop on our conversation. When the moment is right, send the puppet this way. Thus shall we both be privy to his reaction, even as you remain undetected. While such subterfuge would usually fall outside my duties as key ward, rest assured I'm happy to help. Wouldn't he be arriving from this direction? Am I misunderstanding locality? I see that Master Lahabre has not softened. You've done well to endure his methods. Sometimes I feel he's become even more difficult. Were I not recently made privy to his true nature, I would have abandoned hope within moments. Such is his way of nurturing your talents, I suppose. I know, he still aggravates me, but I have come to see that even our quarrels are a means to know him better. As a father and one of the 14 both. Ah yes, I called you here because I had something to show you. Themis, why are you so small? Another puppet I see, but who managed to render such a striking likeness? They ask me not to divulge their identity. I can say only that they have your best interests at heart. How curious, and to think such a gift would arrive so soon after I met with the man himself. I happened to run into him at the Words of La Habrea. It was my first time speaking with him in his capacity as Elidibus, but he was friendly as ever. He told me of yet more beleaguered plants from the words of Halmerit, which had escaped and taken root in a region designated for Logrift's creations, making proper assessment quite impossible. Themis was called upon to judge whether to switch testing grounds or convenience or uproot the unwelcome creations. So soon after returning from Pandemonium, he said he finds such minor squabbles a welcome change. And of course, we spoke of our intel. Naturally, perhaps we can ask your admirer to make a likeness of him as well. As much as I would like that, I don't believe it would suit him. Unlike Themis and I, our intel isn't bound by his own small domain. I think he rather belongs to the entire star. To keep him, or even an imitation, confined here would feel wrong. Arntel and Themis are both dear friends, and I need no tangible proof to be certain of our bond, though I admit that it will be nice to have a reminder of at least one of them around. I'm glad to hear it. Now, I believe you have duties to return to. If you wouldn't mind fetching those reports from Peripetia on the new creations sent from Elpis. Gladly. Keyword Hegemon. And little Themis here will come with me. That turned out well, wouldn't you say? Ericthonius has a new companion, and you were able to witness his joy at meeting him. Each and every warder here owes you a great debt. I hope that charming charade helped repay mine in some small way. I must attend to my own work, but I wish you all the best, whether or not we meet again. Fare thee well, Arentel. Man, that mentioning a fucking hegemon, or no, Helmer rather, sorry, is subtle foreshadowing, perhaps. But then Logriff also came up, so well, no, because Gaia was Gaia Logriff, or was Gaia no. Yeah, Gaia was the seat of Logriff, I think. Am I gonna check? Don't feel like it. Doesn't really matter much. But there you are, Arentel. Judging by the grin on your face, and I trust the mammoth is safely in Ericthonius' hands. I knew we could count on you. May that doll provide him some small reprieve from the stresses of his station. Speaking of which, I know you had to pull yourself from your own adventures to take care of this little errand, so I don't intend to let you go unrewarded. That's why we commissioned 2 mammoths from the start. I dare say Themis will be delighted to travel a whole new era by your side. Fog. Both the Ethereal Sea and the Heart of Sabik are yet brimming with secrets to be discovered. I can hardly remember the last time my days were so exciting. Please, if there's anything you can help me with, do visit again. I doubt that that's anything new. Okay, that was interesting. Kinda fun. Didn't substantially expand. It didn't kill my theory, so there is that, and I am glad I got it done. And also, no, I do know what that is. I'll get to that. Wait, prologues? Prologues? Oh, I guess I haven't done anything with that yet. That will be as soon as I complete Black Mage. That is the next thing on the docket. Help, help, help. There it is. No, I lost it again. God damn it, there it is. Stormblood. Yeah, Stormblood. And then Shadowbringers as well. Shades of... Wait a minute. There are now 3 Shatotos in this game. Hang on. Actually, no, we got the Shatoto from the Fate, which actually, in fairness, I don't know if they're going to reveal is the same Shatoto. From the Shatoto who is in the Alliance raid I haven't done yet. That will be at some point in the universe of soon. And now there's also this well, there was always this Shatoto. Well, I guess the Fate Shatoto was there first, because that Fate was only run in ARR, from what I've heard. Wasn't there for it, Lamau. And then there's this Shatoto. Fucking crazy. Also, I'm just now realizing this, but like it's been called the gem of Shatoto since like the ARR quests. So, Lamau. Wait, what? Oh yeah, that doesn't show quests, I don't think. Ah, Arntel, I'm glad you are here. I would consult with you about a matter that has been gnawing away at my mind. There's no small part, or thanks in no small part to your efforts, the books of Nald Thal have at long last been reunited in these halls, their long-lost secrets just waiting to be unearthed. Though I have scarcely begun poring over the tomes, I have already made a most remarkable discovery. Each of the twins' tomes contained a cipher of sort, the meaning of which could only be deciphered when the two are referenced in tandem. I will spare you the details of how I unraveled the message, though it truly was among my finer moments, if I dare say so myself. At any rate, the words, once decoded, are most evidently an invocation, albeit one entirely unfamiliar to me. Beneath it was writ a simple directive. Heir to the dark arts, speak these words unto Nald's reflection, that memories, long forgotten, may stir anew. As to what precisely these words are referencing, your guess is as good as mine. Still, Master Kukuruka doubtless preserved the incantation, and the accompanying message in his records for a reason, and if we are not the heirs to the art of black magic, then who is? So I trust I can expect to see you at Nald's reflection, and do try to hurry. Yes, I would prefer not to delay any potentially epoch-making discoveries any longer than necessary. Right away? Okay. A little bit surprised by that, not gonna lie. And that is all you need to know. When I give the sign, you are to chant the words precisely as I instructed. Understood? Now, Arentel. That light. You, yes, you shall serve as the bringer of destruction. As for my vessel, yes, that one should suffice. Whatever was that strange sensation, for a moment it was as if a great fire burned within me, and then... now it is as if my very mind is being rent in two, and this voice... Well, it feels good to walk the earth for the first time in 2 millennia. Seems that old coot proved himself useful after all. If he hadn't kicked it, I'd find him and give him a pat on the back. And what are you gawking at? You are a black mage, are you not? Surely you possess the common sense to recognize the woman who stands before you, or will you be needing a hint? Some would call me Death's Handmaiden, but I always found that particular epithet so needlessly morbid. Though technically speaking I am, but manifestation of a memory. You may call me by the name I used in life, Shatoto, at your service, but I jest, of course. It's you who are at mine. I must say, what is it with black mages today in these unwieldy hats? Do they truly believe it makes them look more imposing, or are they merely compensating for something? In either event, I have no need of such adornments. Now, that's more like it. Arentel, was it? Of course it was. Now that we're on a first-name basis, you'll have to tell me all about yourself. On second thought, let's skip that. Time is short, and to be quite honest, I don't particularly care. At any rate, I might have mentioned I am not the true Shatoto she once lived, but rather a manifestation of her memory, or my memory. Needless to say, that still makes me the most powerful sorceress currently existing in your world. You do well to remember that if ever you have a mind to cross me. Well then, now that we've gotten the pleasantries out of the way, what do you say we have a little fun? Prepare to be blasted into a gazillion itty-bitty pieces. Oh, come now. Must I spell everything out for you? I must know if you are sufficiently adept at the dark arts to help me forestall impending doom. And this is by far the easiest way to do it. Not to mention the most fun. Prepare for a world of pain. Damn. Uh-oh. It's starting to look a little dire. Maybe I should have respected. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna wipe. Yikes. I duly noted. Respect the fucking, the mechanics of the solo duty. What do you mean it didn't take mana ward off cooldown? What the fuck is this? If that's an enrage, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Okay, it's a soft enrage. We're good. Not half bad. That painfully dull expression on your face had me worried, but I suppose you'll do after all. Do for what? Try to keep up, will you? I abhor repeating myself. Let me start at the beginning. 2,300 years ago, the greatest mage of our realm has ever known, that would be me, compiled a choice assortment of the most potent offensive incantations and evocations into the school known as Black Magic. You still seem puzzled. I also devised a spell that would allow my memory to one day return. My reasons were twofold. For one, I simply had to see for myself how the art of destruction would be handled, or would be handed down eras after I had inevitably passed. For another, I knew that without my guidance, this realm would one day meet most certain. Oh, this won't do. I had thought the girl stronger than this, but these eyelids grow heavy and my consciousness wanes. I suppose I'll have to take a little nap. But remember this, my puppet of destruction. You have an important role to play in the battle to come, the battle that will decide the fate of our very world. Till next I wake, shirk not your study of the art. Arntel, where are we? It is as if I just woke from the strangest dream. And yet, my every limb aches, as if my respite were more exhausting than the fiercest of battles. Did you perchance observe anything odd happen to me? You were possessed by the recollections of Shatoto, and then you tried to kill me. Preposterous, or so most would say, but you have no reason to tell me falsehoods, and it would certainly explain the curious symptoms I find myself experiencing. Shatoto, the mother of our dark art, she who pursued the power of destruction to and beyond any limits that could be conceived, has her consciousness truly taken up residence in my own mind? It is no use. I call out, but she does not answer. Whether she slumbers or simply deigns not to answer, I cannot say. I fear I am at something of a loss. Let's return to the sacrarium and clear our heads. Mayhap the answers we seek will yet reveal themselves to us. Interesting glamour. Lurking Leech. Interesting. I'm afraid it's no use. I have called out to Shatoto within my mind time and time again, but I am met only with silence. If only Master were still here. Surely he could shed some light on the matter. After all, it was he that recorded for posterity the words we used to summon forth Shatoto's memory. Wait, that's it. Master himself may not be here, but his writings may yet contain the answer to our queries. It was within the statue of Null that the memory slumbered. This does not strike me as mere coincidence. I believe that settles it. I will return to the tomes and see what knowledge can be gleaned, that we might prepare ourselves for whatever task awaits us. This holds for you as well, Arntel. Whatever Shatoto's motives for returning to us, I cannot shake the feeling that ill happenings are afoot. I suggest you resume your studies with the utmost urgency. Ah, Arantel. Good. Good. For better or for worse, it would seem Shatoto is still enjoying herself a peaceful slumber. In the meantime, my study of the books of Nald Thal has proven rather enlightening. In particular, I was surprised to learn that while the statue of Nald's reflection is a relatively recent construction, in historical terms, of course, the goblet it holds in its hands is quite ancient. It would appear that it was within that vessel Mistress Shatoto's soul was sealed away. Master's record goes on to state that the inner surface of the goblet is inscribed with a message in the glyphs of ancient Ma. It reads, yes, here it is. The power of destruction did rend the baleful star, and peace doth reign near and afar. Yet 23 centuries hence shall it come anew, and certain doom is sure to ensue. A prophecy of sorts, it would seem. It has been roughly 2,300 years since Shatoto founded black magic, which means it is entirely possible she herself left the inscription. But whatever sort of doom could the prophecy be referring to? I fear it is all rather cryptic. Lalai and Ardell as well. I would speak with the both of you at once. Oh no. While I would like nothing more than to catch up in old times, I come bearing grave tidings. My friends, pray lend me your aid. Well, if it isn't our favorite goo-headed hearer, I would have thought the seventh hell would freeze over before you cast your lot with purveyors of destruction. What have we done to deserve the honor of your groveling? This is no time for just lie. This situation is most dire. Why, a veritable horde of crazed golems has burst forth from the lost city and is wreaking havoc on the Twelveswood even as we speak. Whatever foul sorcery led them to abandon their orders and run rampant, we cannot say. But one thing is certain: if we do not deal with them, and do so swiftly, there is no telling what damage they might inflict upon our forest home. That does sound like cause for concern. Very well, I suppose it would not kill us to put the matter of Shatoto aside for the moment and, Wait, no, not now. What? Don't worry about it, it's fine. I say, how can the girl think straight with this ungodly fool's cap weighing her down? Or perhaps she can't, that's why. But of course, it all makes perfect sense. Oh, hello there. Did you miss me and my prodigious intellect? Of course you did. Now look, we haven't much time, so do try to keep pace. The Surge of Aether, just who or what are you? Yes, I'm sure that there's so much you'd like to know, but where would that get us? I've already heard all I need to know through this girl's ears. We are needed in South Shroud, yes? Rampaging Golems, was it? Indeed. I have tasked a whaler named Alphany with looking into the matter. With any luck, he has gleaned some knowledge which might avail us in plotting a suitable course of action. Alphany, South Shroud. Yes, I believe the great Shatoto has all she needs. Well, come now, no point in standing around like gawping goobos when there's work to be done, right? Right? Shatoto, Arntel, I'm most grateful for your aid. Do not get me wrong. But if there is anything that you and Lalai have been keeping from me, mark my words, I will hear of it in full when our task is done. Say no more. As soon as I know what's happening, I will give you a full briefing. That's not right. Left road. Can't tranquil. Odd, so much easier to think without that excess bulk weighing on my brain. For the life of me, I'll never understand people's obsession with extravagant headgear. The sheer etheric energy I feel exuding from the girl is nothing short of astounding. Could it be that Cap was reining in her true power all this time? Something like that. Welcome, friends. You come seeking news of the golems, yes? Would that I had any to give. I fear not a single one of the creatures has manifested itself before mine eyes. So you say, my good man, but It is possible that you do not see the trees or the forest. Sometimes that which we seek is right before us, and we need only attune our vision. Why, is it just me, or do I spy a number of curious stone structures peeking out from that bush? Yes, I have an inkling that our foe may be hiding in plain sight. But just how is one to distinguish living stone from the more ordinary type? Why, I do believe the former would take far less kindly to being scorched with a burst of hell's fire. So, the plan is clear, yes? Let's get blasting. If I understand the woman correctly, the golems have disguised themselves as ordinary stone, and she means to unmask them by haphazardly incinerating every rock in the woods. Well, I suppose 'tis as good a plan as any. Yeah, I mean, like, I'd say this is kind of sus. You could have at least put me in Fire 3. Oh. Fair enough. For half a moment, I forgot that I outlevel these by, what, 40 levels? Oh, I didn't speak to the man. Damn. That was fun, wasn't it? Now, while I'm not wont to repeat myself, it seems I should make an exception for the slower members of our band. You have the privilege of standing before the Archmage Shatoto, or rather, a memory of the same which has awakened after years of slumber to rescue your realm from a fate most dire. Slower, Lady Shatoto, if that is truly who you are, I cannot deny your arcane prowess, and yet there is much about this matter that does not sit well with me. Pray explain yourself. What is this dire fate of which you speak? Oh dear, you really aren't very smart. Very well, I shall begin from the very beginning, dear me. Did I almost rhyme? Who does that anyway? Anyhow, the tale begins some 2 millennia ago, when the great civilization of Mach was still in its infancy. Our scholars ascertained that a mighty comet, awash with unspeakable ethereal energy, was on course to strike our fair home and reduce it to so much rubble. And so I thought to rectify the situation the only way I knew how, by blasting the foul rock out of the sky with the most powerful destructive magic our realm had ever seen. This, more than anything, was what spurred me to developing the art of black magic, as it is known today. Needless to say, my plan was a remarkable success. A massive chunk of the comet was shattered, knocking it clear off its path and sending it spinning harmlessly off into the heavens. The story, however, does not end there. Fragments of the meteor hurtled to and embedded themselves in the earth. While small enough that their impact caused no significant damage, they remained beneath the surface, brimming with etheric energies, just waiting to be unleashed. Needless to say, these otherworldly stones drew the attention of mages far and wide, who sought to claim their powers for their own. These are the stones that gave the golems their souls, by whose powers many a city-state flourished. And yet these stones held yet further secrets. When 2 of them were brought together, they would call out to one another, aether reacting to aether to augment their mutual powers to still greater heights. Mind you, the power of mere fragments, even in a heightened state, would be far too meager to be cause for concern. One threat, however, still lingered. What if the comet, the mother stone as it were to return its circuitous orbit, bringing it in shouting distance of our world once more? Would not its remnants, its children, summon it hither in all its destructive glory? Preposterous! Did your vaunted black magic not knock the comet clear across the skies? Why would it simply... It is simply inconceivable that its new path would bring it around back in our direction. Inconceivable to feebler minds, mayhap, but not my own. In fact, I posit that the comet is drawing nearer every moment, and it is for this very reason that the golems are now running amok. If left unattended, the implications for this world could be calamitous. Indeed, fortunately, we have an ally in the impending battle, a prodigy who foresaw the danger that was to come, and sent her memory into the future that she might return to save the day. You mean to say that you predicted that this threat would come over 2,000 years ago, mind you, and devised an incantation for the sole purpose of allowing you to return to us in our time of need? I do believe I've already said precisely that. Of course, I did not do it entirely on my own. The spell would have been lost to history if crazy old Kukuruka hadn't dug it up when he did, recorded it for posterity. Dear little Lalai and Arantel also played their parts as well. Oh, how wonderful it is when one's followers, against their natural tendencies, perhaps manage not to make an utter mess of things. I might admit the whole story still strikes me as a bit far-fetched. I mistrust neither your motives nor your skill, Lady Shatoto, but as a hearer, charged with the protection of this wood, I cannot leave this matter to you alone. I will accompany you and offer what aid I can. But first, let us return to Ulda. I would hear more of the plan you propose before we take action. Must you? Very well. Just promise you will not get in our way. Now come along, my puppets. I have a realm to save, and you are going to help me. Goldsmith Guild. Oh no, it's Miners Guild is closer. It does not appear the sorceress means us ill, but I still do not feel entirely safe in her presence. And whatever has she done with Lalai? The hero assures me that there have been no golem uprisings elsewhere, and since he clearly is too thick to tell a convincing lie, I am inclined to believe him. This means that we still have time to form a plan of attack. I do pride myself on my honesty, and so I would be honest with you when I say this. Your art is, to put it kindly, not looked fondly upon in our day and age, and your story stretches the limits of believability. We cannot stave off this calamity alone, but any entreaties you might make are not likely to find a receptive audience. I, on the other hand, have friends in positions of some prominence. I shall reach out to them and see what aid they are willing to offer. How charming. He actually thinks he might prove himself useful. And in your spare time, might you not ask your astrologian friends if they have any recent calculations on the comet's path? I have no reason to doubt the accuracy of my own, of course, but I was working off two millennia old data. As you wish. Forgive me for being forward, but might I inquire as to the well-being of our mutual friend Lalai? She's still in there somewhere, yes? Oh, she most certainly is, were it not. The girl's consciousness is just enjoying a short respite. Which reminds me, I really am due a nap myself. Be a dear and do try not to let things go to hells in my absence, will you? Shatoto, mother of the art that brought the great floods upon us, has she truly returned to deliver us from doom? The progenitor of our esteemed art has chosen me as her vessel in hopes of saving our world from a falling star. I can scarce imagine a greater honor. Come, Arntel, we must put our minds together and figure out how we might best do her bidding. Wait, Lalai, If we take her words at face value, Shatoto has only the realm's best interest at heart, and yet I, for one, remain skeptical. Which is not to say I doubt her intentions, or yours for that matter, and yet we speak of the founder of the very art which gave rise to the War of the Magi and the Sixth Umbral Calamity. Could it not be that even in seeking to save our realm, she is like as not to destroy it? Blasphemy! Why, Lady Shatoto had long since passed when the war broke out. Only a blind, blustering halfwit would even think to hold her responsible for, though when I put it that way. I understand this. That is why I begrudge neither you nor her my aid. Such as it will serve to protect the realm's peace. At the same time, I intend to keep close watch on her. Only one can never be too wary after all. In any event, I will gather what knowledge I can of the threat we face, and I would be most grateful if you could do the same. Might I suggest speaking with your beastmen allies, if the idea has not already occurred to you, that is? I swear that man's head is made of harder stone than any golem. Still, at least he is cooperating with us, which is progress of some sort. In any event, I will reach out to our beastmen friends. I encourage you to return to your studies in the meantime. If one thing is clear, it is that the task ahead will test us to our very limits. Ah, Arentel, I trust you have not been shirking your studies. Mr. Shatoto expects much of us, and I would not disappoint her. For my own part, I have called out to her intently time and again within my mind in hopes of conveying any and all knowledge that might avail in staving off this impending disaster. Though she does not respond, I have the distinct sensation that she is listening, in some way or another. Doubtless, she will return when she sees fit, but in the meanwhile, we can ill afford to bide our time, and so I have taken Zahaya Nelha's advice. I can see the smug grin on his face as I say that, and reached out to our friends. Not moments ago, a post-Moogle came by with a missive from our friend Daza of the 269th Order. As luck would have it, it seems he has knowledge that might serve us well. To wit, reports of recent sightings of rampaging golems. I would ask you to go on ahead and see what he knows. I will call for that holier-than-thou here and join you shortly. Not that I am enamored of his company, far from it, but his insights have proven to be not altogether useless on occasion. If only he were not so unbearably smug, the man might almost be, where were you not headed to Ravensoul to meet our friend Daza? We are not exactly suffering from an overabundance of time, Arentel. Arentel, it has been eons, ages, eras, eons. I have heard that the spirit of the legendary Shatoto comes alive again inside Lalai, but could this wondrous tale possibly be true? It is indeed, friend Daza. She is a capricious type, though, and wakes only when she has a mind to. In fact, I have explained some 700 times to this mutton-headed here, who still insists beyond all reason that I should be able to summon her at will. You do me discredit, Lalai. I merely suggested that if there was some means by which we could summon Shatoto at our own convenience, rather than waiting for her to come forth of her own accord, it might serve us in facing the dangers ahead. Summon her? You speak of the illustrious founder of my art as if she were a mere serving girl. You will watch your tongue in the presence of your betters, Zahaya Nelha, lest... Uwa? I meant no disrespect. I do not deny the power of your art, nor the good it can do in the right hands. I am simply... Too stubborn and too stupid to fully accept it. Oh well, I suppose none of us are perfect. Myself excluded, of course. 269th Order Mendicant Daza, I presume. Tell me all you have seen or heard about this rampaging golem. Are my eyes to be believed, trustworthy, sworn by, believed? Is this truly the great Shatoto who stands before my eyes? Yes, it must be. I mean, but of course, my lady, yes. Daza will tell you all he knows. I saw a strange golem, odd, curious, strange, wandering in the tangle, and that is not all. It was no ordinary golem, no, but rather the same one I saw in the tome handed down from my forebear, Dagu, a golem of ancient Mach. One of my own creations. Why, that is simply inconceivable. I designed them to be utterly rampage-proof, and left copious instructions to ensure that my loyal apprentices and their apprentices, and so on and so forth, would see that they stay that way. Mayhap your followers were not so diligent in carrying out your orders after your passing. We all know of the chaos and destruction wreaked by Machi sorcerers during the War of the Magi. I suspect that poring over age-old documents on the upkeep of golems was the least of their concerns. Forgive me my doubts, Lady Shatoto, but you seem quite partial to your creations and your countrymen. If you were to find yourselves locked in combat with a golem of Mach, do I have your assurance you would not hesitate to strike down our foe? You do not trust me. Trust us. I know. This I know. I am not deaf to lies, ceaseless grumblings. So be it. You cannot help being a simpleton, no more than I can help being the greatest intellect of any era. The old cute Kukuruka told me what became of Mach after my passing, when he communed with me a century ago. Do not think I deny the senseless destruction caused by my descendants, with the art I myself wrought, no less. Of course not, for I, unlike some of my present companions, am not a bloody fool. But even a fool must understand that a tool is only as good or evil as she who would wield it. Goodness, sorry. So answer me this. What could I possibly stand to gain from standing idly as my own creations wreak havoc in the realm I once called home? I will grant that there is some sense in what you say. In any event, we thank you for your assistance, Daza. Rest assured that we will see to the rogue golems before any harm befalls you and yours. To the tangle. Does that overdweller never lighten up? It must be so tiring living every day carrying around a brain of solid stone. Burdensome, worrisome, tiring. You can say that again, my synonym-abusing friend. Arntel, you know the man better than I, and for that I pity you. Is there nothing we can do to buy ourselves a moment's respite from his inane quibbling? Whatever do you suppose is bothering his puny mind? Mayhap he worries for lie. Yes, I've observed this as well. Smaller minds are quick to burden themselves with hand-wringing concern over the well-being of others. As if it were not evident that the girl is more than capable of taking care of herself. In either event, if he insists on tagging along with us, I suppose it would not hurt to win him over. If only so he does not foul things up at the worst possible time. Anyhow, I do believe we have some golems who smite into oblivion. The tangle was it. I'll see you there, and do try not to get lost on the way. This Shatoto is full of mysteries, but one baffles me the most. Just what is it about Lai's cap that she finds so disagreeable? Was there no custom of wearing headgear at her age? These lands were far more dry and agreeable in my day, but I suppose much can change in 2 millennia, especially without me around to keep things in order. But this is no time to get caught up in nostalgia. We have golems to smash and search for. Not necessarily in that order, I suppose. Yes, I can sense particularly strong etheric energies coming from that direction. I will accompany Shatoto to ensure she remains focused on the task at hand. I do survey the area south of here. These environs afford our foe no end of hiding spots, and I am ill-inclined to walk into an ambush. You look far and wide, but can discern no sign of golems, rampaging or otherwise. Return to the southwestern reaches of the Tangle and see how Shatoto and Zahayanella fare in their search. Oh shit, it survived. Impressive. If only this body were my own, I would have raised the oversized block of stone to the ground. I suppose I should thank you for coming to my aid. Had I lost consciousness in the midst of battle, I would certainly have been done for, and poor Lalai with me. No, Lady Shatoto, it is I who owe you a debt of gratitude. Had you not drawn the creature's initial strike, I would surely have met an inglorious end. But that is not the least of my failings. It is my fault, and mine alone, that you were caught unawares. Though it shames me to say so, my eyes were on you, when they should have been watching out for our enemy. Who is this sorceress who wields such frightful power? Does she truly mean to save our realm, or will she destroy it? These thoughts continue to haunt me, but no more. Seeing you risk your life for me, a humble hearer you have only just met. I say this with no reservations. You are a paragon of virtue, and a model to all mages, white or black. Why, I do believe those are the most intelligent words I've heard you utter yet. Keep talking like that, and I might yet learn to tolerate your presence. But if you think that means I'm going to give you your precious Lalai back, you'd best think again. We still have a falling star to fend off, do we not? My precious Lalai, I have not the slightest idea what you might be implying. You wouldn't, would you? Well, was it not your grand dream to see the white and black, the arts of healing and destruction, united for the common good? So says Lalai at the very least. Is the girl not an invaluable piece to the future you would realize? That is all well and true, but invaluable and precious have different connotations, but mayhap not in your time, but the meanings of words evolve over time, you see, and what I am saying is, of course, Lalai is a friend and ally, but the same could be said of our intel here, and which is not to say I do not want to see her again, of course, only that, oh, never mind. At any rate, I do believe we've done all we can here. Lady Shatoto, please forgive me for having doubted you. Henceforth, I promise that I will aid you in whatever way I can. And with that, I do believe I must be off, somewhere. Fucking runs. Oh, he's back. Well, that's the thing, if I may, Lady Shatoto. While you are awake and speaking with us, what becomes of Lalai's consciousness? That is to say, is she still in there listening? What a curious question. She is slumbering in the recesses of her mind, which, as am I when she is awake. But to answer your question, no, she's not listening. Though we do have some rather stimulating conversations from time to time. If you'd like, I can share the details. No, I mean, never mind. I really must be getting off to, right, that place I was going. What a curious man. At any rate, I feel my consciousness beginning to wane. Lalai will be waking from slumber ere long, and I would return to Ul'dah before she does. I suggest you do the same. Your friend has much she wishes to discuss with you. I think the buzzer says that was a lie. I think she heard everything. Minor skill, minor skill. Nope, not you. Welcome back, Arntel. As you might have surmised, it is I, Lie. Mistress Shatoto returned to her repose not moments ago. Before drifting off to slumber, she imparted to me some details regarding what she sees as the next phase of our task, to which she would have us venture further afield to investigate any golem menaces that might be stirring out of eyeshot. Speaking of menaces, whatever became of that stone-headed here, I suppose there's not much. I suppose it is too much to hope that Mr. Shatoto finally set his robes alight. He has come to respect Lady Shatoto. I dare say it took him long enough. Still, we cannot hold the man's ignorance against him. Not all of us are blessed with burgeoning intellects. Anyhow, I trust you will keep me informed if our hero friend exhibits any more impertinent behavior. I will think of suitable retribution. I dare say putting him to sleep and hiding his glasses would send a clear message and be rather amusing, no less. In any event, I would return to my research, as should you. Shatoto will doubtless call upon us before long, and our powers must be primed for the occasion. Arndel, the moment you entered the room, I could feel the air crackling with etheric energy. Excellent, your diligence and your training will surely serve us well. And you come at perfect time. Not moments before you arrived, Shatoto's voice called out to me from the recesses of my consciousness. She would have us begin to lay the groundwork for the final stage of her plan. As she made it quite clear that we will require all the aid we can muster, I have taken the liberty of reaching out to our beastmen friends. They have convened at Kazag's residence at Burgundy Falls, where they await our arrival. Let us not keep them waiting. I'm in the process of reworking my Reaper Glamour. I have something presently, but I don't know, something about it just still isn't quite there. I'm pretty happy with the chest piece. I don't know how I feel about the hat, and the color scheme feels off. But as far as the color scheme is concerned, I feel kind of trapped by the weapon I have. And the Reaper, still being fairly new, is still quite limited in terms of its available weapon options. And I don't know if I have the wherewithal to fucking grind a phantom relic, you know? Although, 9 months... Was Daza the first beastman to speak with Lady Shatoto? Yes, surely he was. Daza is Shatoto's favorite, her chosen, her prized one, her favorite. Do not merely foresee a falling star some 2,000 years hence, but project one's own memory into the future to forestall it. Truly the powers of Mrs. Shatoto are beyond the comprehension of our ordinary minds. Squawk, great honor, tremendous honor, trembling with excitement and awe, Dozol is. I am not privy to the finer points of Lady Shatoto's plan, but I am pleased to assist in any way I can. My friends, thank you for coming together on such short notice. Mistress Shatoto would have you know that she is most grateful for your cooperation. In fact, I do believe she would rather speak to you directly. Gotta have that scene changed so she can take the hat off. Well, it would seem to get the gangs all here. I dare say it's time we got this proverbial show on the road. Hearer, tell me that you have made yourself useful since I last saw your vapid face. Ah, Lady Shatoto, according to my colleagues in the Eorzean Alliance, patrols have sighted an increasing number of rampaging golems afield. Fortunately, none have posed a significant threat, at least not as of yet. Which brings us to the matter of the comet. A colleague of mine at the observatorium has confirmed that it draws nearer with each passing hour. Though there is no immediate danger of a collision, if it stays on its present course, it won't. It is too close for comfort, yes. Fortunately, as is my wont, have a plan. I simply hope that you, my friends, are up to the task. If the hearer speaks true, the golems that have been causing trouble near the city-states have been more bark than bite, felled with no great difficulty by middling soldiers. From this I surmise that the gems set within them, their soul stones, have been small and of meager power at best. And yet if my theory holds, a more sinister threat lurks in the realm's far reaches, far from the prodding eyes of Eorzean and beastmen alike. This is where we must go. Squawk. Perplexed, Dozel is, profoundly, deeply perplexed. By people to do the work of people are golems created, to travel so far from their master's domains. These constructs have no reason. True, is this not? Well, I'll be a passably astute observation, but I fear your knowledge is lacking, my squawking friend. Golems come in all shapes and forms, and not all are wrought by the hands of a mortal creator. Often, a gem of sufficient etheric power will attract all manner of matter, plant, mineral, and animal alike, spontaneously animating it and giving rise to new life. With naught to guide them, these feral golems rove and wander at will. It is these unpredictable specimens that pose the greatest danger. The larger the gem that serves as their soulstone, the greater their power, and the greater the threat when the comet draws nigh. It would appear our task is clear. Let us split up and hunt down these abominations. I shall join our beastmen friends and make for the west. I will leave the eastern reaches to the two of you. I trust you will be able to fend for yourselves. There is one matter in particular I would ask you to investigate. My friends at the Alliance conveyed to me a most curious report, which Lady Shatoto's words just now put in a rather different light. Over in Giribania, in the hamlet of Alagana, villagers have claimed sightings of, in their words, trees that walk like men. These have gone entirely uninvestigated, written off as the delusions and fantasies of superstitious common folk. But if Lady Shatoto speaks true, which I do, they're golems beyond the slimmest shadow of a doubt. Were it not for Arentel and I will uproot them and reduce every last leaf and strip of bark to smoldering ash. Won't we, Arentel? I will leave the particulars regarding the means of destruction to the experts. I, however, have procured a link pearl that we might better coordinate our efforts. Pray take it with you. And with that, I do believe we are prepared as we are as prepared as we could hope to be. Let us be off, my friends, and remember, should aught go amiss, I am but a link pearl call away. Oh, he gave her his number. A device to allow that pretentious pudding head to talk to me even if I am 100 miles away. Far be it from me to scoff at technological progress, but some inventions really could have been done without. Shatoto is an advocate for smashing your phone. Noted. I'll not act like I haven't been tempted. Anyway, this is what I'm working with right now. I think it's good in concept, but I don't know. I think I don't know how I feel about the soft blue, but a sharper blue, I think, like, hang on. I think that doing like a sharper blue would be kind of like overbearing, you know? Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'll be running a dungeon and I'll just happen to see a chess piece just drop randomly, doing like a roulette or whatever the fuck. And I go, ho, you know? I fucking love the glamour update, but it has made my process of doing glamours take like days, because like I will be like 25% through my usual method, which, mind you, my usual method is like the fucking brute force method functionally, where I start in the most recent expansion and I go through everything I can get from the market board. Then I go through everything I can get for turn-ins, and then I go through everything I can get from hunts, and then I go to the next expansion back, and then the next expansion back, and the next expansion back, until I usually stop at ARR, because there's like anything good from ARR is on the market board. Tell me I'm wrong. So, you know, because I use the Dreadworm shit in a handful of my glamours. I think fewer now. I use the Connet Offending on my Paladin glamour. How interesting. While Mach has devolved into a vermin-infested bog, Yerbania is, if anything, looking more lively than I remember it. Not that that's saying much, of course. But look at me, getting all nostalgic for no reason. After all, my body has long since returned to the dust, and soon even my memory will fade. But before that, we have a job to do, don't we? I can sense no unusual etheric presence here, so let us venture a bit further into the field. Come along now, Arentel. Oh, you know what I haven't been doing the past couple days? My allied societies. Oh no. That's not good. Whatever, I got 9 months. It'll get done. I am unworried. Oh no! Whatever will I do? Poke. Oh, already dead. Damn. Crazy. Did you come upon any wood golems, Arndal? As you can see, these two had the misfortune of coming upon little old me, but that is not all I saw. Yes, it was a most remarkable and horrifying sight. After I delivered a mortal wound to one of the creatures, I saw it extend a gnarled limb and, with the last ounce of its strength, try to rip the soul stone from its cohort's chest. Yes, it would seem these feral golems have no qualms about cannibalizing each other, which has led me to quite a frightening conclusion, to wit... Oh, of all the... Whatever could that four-eyed fool want at a time like this? Yes, if you have something to report, make a quick... What? Yes, it would be wise for you to make a discreet retreat. We will do the same. I would reevaluate our options in light of these most troubling developments. Very well, I will join you at the observatorium shortly. Do gather all the information you can from your colleagues before I arrive. Gods be good. That hero has actually proven himself useful. It would seem he came upon a most startling scene in the hinterlands, a mass influx of golems of all shapes and sizes as if summoned from all regions of the realm by some unholy force. I have my own theory as to what this means, but I require more knowledge before plotting our next step. One thing I can say is that we should immediately begin preparing for the worst. In any event, we must move in quickly. You return to Burgundy Falls and appraise the beastmen of where we stand. I shall go on ahead to the observatorium and see what knowledge the astrologians have gleaned and join you as soon as I am able. I love how loud that is. I am so glad that it is deafening and comes semi-randomly. Thank you. Appreciated. I am also debating presently if I'm willing to spend probably roughly 3 million gil on having Give It All as an orchestration role, because I have the orchestration role. It's on the market board right now, gradually decreasing in price. And I would love, on one hand, I'd love the 3 million gil. 3 million gil would be very cool. But on the other hand, I keep getting fucking undercut, and it's not selling. and that's probably... Is that my favorite raid song in the game? Give It All or Return to Oblivion are, like, probably my favorite raid song in the game. And I think I have Returned to Oblivion now. Perhaps the golems are having a feast, a banquet, a revel, a feast. Though feasting on what? I would rather not speculate. No, not thinking. So many golems Dozol has ever seen. In a flutter are Dozol's feathers. Squawk, squawk, squawk. Friends, comrades, brothers and sisters of the Black, we stand at the brink of a disaster most dire. Even as we speak, our foe grows in number. Beings of sentient stone and wood gather, summoned by an unknown force, and united for a common purpose, a purpose beyond our understanding. Beyond your understanding, perhaps, but not mine. The golems make for Somal. In Girabania, I witnessed a most unsettling sight. A golem, with an almost animal fury, tearing into its cohort's chest. Disturbing as it was all too clear what I was witnessing. The creature sought a stronger soulstone, that it might augment its strength and prolong its own existence. But the power these creatures seek is not limited to that which they can harvest from their own kind. No, they are forever in search of a more potent etheric source. They have finally found one. The astrologians of the observatorium have confirmed my worst fears. The baleful star of our past slowly but inexorably changes course, bringing it closer and closer to the star. It is as Lady Shashatoto says, the golems call out to it, beckoning it ever closer. According to the latest calculations, any further adjustments to its path, and it is all but certain to strike Eorzea head-on. The baleful creatures would climb the highest peak in the land and summon their mother stone to bring disaster to our realm. Inconceivable. And yet it is just so, my friend. Unless we destroy the lot of them, a collision is all but inevitable. And yet there are simply too many. Even if we could thin their ranks, they would regrow themselves and regroup in no time. So we are done for, doomed, defeated, done for. Do not give up hope, my frenetic friend, or do you forget that the most brilliant mind to ever walk the face of Eorzea stands with you? Allow me to propose a foolproof plan. We do absolutely nothing at all. For now, that is. We know that the golems are feeding on each other in pursuit of greater and greater power, so why not sit back and let this process of unnatural selection take its course, so we are left with but a single foe. Never mind, Shatoto is. Were that to happen, a creature of untold power and puissance that golem would be. Quite so. It would be the mother of all automata. The golem equivalent of yours truly, if you will. But by definition, one of the most formidable foes of our realm... and by definition, one of the most formidable foes our realm has seen. Fortunately, I do believe there is one among us who might stand half a chance against such a monstrosity. Arendelle, Lady Shashatoto insists that you hold, nay, you are the key to this entire operation. I am not inclined to doubt her, but I would hear it from your own lips. Can you say with all certainty that you would emerge victorious over this hypothetical golem of mythical proportions? Oh yeah, 100%. Easily. Thank you, my friend. Your courage inspires me. Pray let me offer my strength, that together we may secure the future of our realm. I know Arendelle and I will have much need of your services, but do feel free to tag along. It would be my honor, and with that I should take my leave. I must warn the people of the nearby settlements to keep a wide breadth of the Great Peak. Mayhap I will even have occasion to smash a golem or two on my journey. Well, I'm impressed, Arendelle. Your friends are proving more reliable by the minute, and with that, I should return to the Sacraria. My grip on consciousness grows more tenuous by the moment. Pray return when you can speak, and when you can, and speak with Lulai upon her awakening. A crazy plan Shatoto devises, but just crazy enough to work, it may be. We'll blast that golem into dust, ashes, powder, dust. Yes, yes, we will. But just between the two of us, I wonder, just how big do you think it will be? You are ever our hope, a shining light against the baleful star that bears down upon us. Ever am I honored to call you friend. Let's not waste Gil. I fucking love when people do this shit. The show right and left emotes are, like, so nice. Big fan, yes, yes. Arndelle, I've called out to Shatoto, but to no avail. No doubt she is deep in slumber, gathering her strength for the battle to come. She did, however, leave a message for you. Slack not in your training, my puppet of destruction. Your powers will be tested as never before. That is not ominous in the least, now is it? In any event, I trust you will be up to the task. Arndelle, I trust you have prepared yourself well. Our foe musters at Annex Shrine. The hour of our final confrontation is nigh. The Here and our beastmen friends are en route to the Forelands as we speak, and I would join them with all haste. Come as soon as you are able. Shatoto will be awaiting your arrival. The golem will not grow too large, will it? I prefer foes to be more compact, like myself. Tiny, puny, compact. To fell the feral golems and cast away the baleful star from the sky. Whatever strength I can summon from within me is yours. Not with fear do Dozol's limbs shake, but with passion and exhilaration for the battle to come. Great passion, tremendous passion. Deep in the mountains, the golems feed on each other with brutal savagery, even as we speak. Their thirst for power nigh unquenchable. Hello, Starbird. Why, thank you so very much, Lalai. What with my own corporeal form having long since faded to dust, it is an honor and a pleasure to see my legacy carried on by women, men, and beastmen after my own. Oops, was I just speaking aloud? You can stop gawking any time now, or have you forgotten that we have an army of power-hungry golems bent on destroying our realm to dispose of? Fortunately, I have already formulated the perfect plan of attack. You three will see to the stragglers still attempting to scale the mountain. I trust you can handle that much. The Here, Arndelle, and myself will scale the summit, where the oversized, augmented amalgamation of golems surely awaits us. If I may be so bold, Lady Shatoto, I would prefer a small amendment to this plan. Samal, as you surely know, is a holy place to all the dragons who call this land home. I am ill-inclined to wage battle without first obtaining their blessing. The Elder Seeds here has told me that Arndelle has a friend among their kind. Mayhap it would be best if he sought the counsel of this Vidofnir before we proceed. I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's hardly the worst idea I've heard today. After all, it could hardly hurt to add another powerful ally to our ranks. What are you waiting for then? Lead the way. Yeah, actually, I think the dragons might not be terribly fond of the idea of a fucking comet annihilating their home. Fitting. Fitting mount. Hello, Vidofnir, long time no see. It's a good thing we have you to preemptively clear up any potential misunderstandings. Well, I'm confident in my ability to eradicate any foe. Incinerating an entire dragon would leave an awful mess. A master of the dark arts and a confidant of dragons. You never cease to surprise me, friend. Give me, like, one more expansion, and I will also be a traveler of worlds. An unholy menace doth gather in our midsts, threatening to summon doom from the heavens upon this realm. Such as thy plight, I too did sense the presence of an intruder in our sacred home. At first I was content to observe, but the danger hath grown too great. Warrior of warriors, if thou and thine would take up arms against our common foe, thou dost have my blessing. Well, that's a ringing endorsement, if I ever heard one. Here, send word to our beastmen friends. We commence the operation at once. There's no time to lose, Arntel. Let's make for the summit and dispose of the abomination that awaits us before the comet gets too close for comfort. Warrior of warrior, I leave the removal of the intruder in thy capable hands. A master of the dark arts, and, okay, that's the same dialogue. I know, I am very cool. Did you know I'm also a dragoon? Oh. Rad. Understood. Pray leave the rest to us. Lady Shadowto, my colleagues from the observatorium have confirmed your suspicions. On its current path, the falling star will sail wide of us, if by the slimmest of margins, and yet the path shifts with every second, bringing us slowly but inexorably to the brink of calamity. Call it a hunch, but I do believe this imposing fellow might be responsible. Well, I'm glad to see that the obvious hasn't escaped you. At any rate, our task is clear. We need only reduce him to dust before he can summon his dear mother any closer. Uh-oh. Hang on. I gotta check something. Won't be 5 seconds. Alright, it's fine. Well, Arntel, are you ready to stand alongside the greatest mage to ever live in a battle for the very future of your world? Look sharp. This is our time to shine. Ooh, stone skin. Half. I'm just gonna burst him down. Fog. Victory is ours. I only pray it does not come too late. Perhaps if you had some black magic in your repertoire, but it is no matter. I have the utmost faith that Arntel and my efforts were not in vain. That light, the 12 have mercy. Here it comes, and there it goes. And with that, my friends, I do believe we've been spared a most crushing fate. Stand tall, Arentel. You and I just saved the world. And I suppose I should thank you as well here for doing a most remarkable job of not mucking everything up. And with that, I believe my work here is done. While I'd love nothing more than to stay and savor our victory a bit longer, all good things must come to an end. Don't look all sad now. With such promising protégés to carry on my legacy, I can go to rest knowing that I did not mother the art of destruction in vain. You have seen our art wielded for the greatest of good and the worst of evil. Having witnessed firsthand your powers, your prowess, and the sheer strength of your resolve, I gladly leave the future of our art in your hands. Walk the path well, Arentel of the Black. That millennia from now, when we have long since faded to a dim memory, those who follow in our footsteps may yet wield their prodigious powers against any who would bring harm to our fair realm. Be proud, Arentel. Having shared a mind with Mistress Shatoto all this time, I can assure you that effusive praise does not come easily to her lips. I can still scarcely believe she did me the honor of choosing my body as a vessel. Before meeting her in the flesh, in a manner of speaking, I had assumed Death's Handmaiden was little more than a witch obsessed with fire and destruction. It would seem my impression may have been an error. May have been? Does your prudish, pig-headed prejudice know no end? As charming as ever, I see. I dare say you could learn a thing or two from your esteemed forebear on how to treat a gentleman. Oh, is that so? I do believe I treat true gentlemen just fine, as Arentel here would know. At any rate, we are done here. Let us leave this uncultured boor here to reflect for a bit on how to treat a lady. I know not if our beastmen friends saw the comet cross the sky, but they are doubtless eager to hear tidings of our final battle. Let us go and set their minds at ease. Our beastmen allies await us at Alex Shrine. We must share word of our triumph without delay. The presence hath lifted. The unholy intruder defiles these sacred grounds no more. Thou hast served us well, child of man. You know me. Tireless diplomat. I saw the comet sailing through the sky, hurtling, shooting, sailing. You are safe, yes? Yes, you are. Return from battle, Dozal's friends do. Safe from harm, you are. Many golems did come to scale the peak, but they come no more. Laid low by our magics, the heavens too are calm. I trust your battle with the great beast ended in victory. Just so, my friend, not to boast, but even Lady Shatoto was most impressed with our efforts. Is that not so, Arentel? 3 cheers for Shatoto, 3 cheers for Arentel, 3 cheers for the art of destruction. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Far be it from me to rain on your parade, but let us not forget that the healer in your ranks played at least a small part in your victory. A happy day this is. Fly home to share the joy with his brothers and sisters, Dozol will. You will visit Dozol again to share magical learnings, yes? Till then, friend. I too must take my leave, but know that even when we are apart, we always stand as one. Till next we meet, my friend. I too must return to Gridania to deliver my official report. I suppose this is farewell, at least for now. Well, don't let it escape you, though I was wondering if I might express my gratitude to your colleagues at the Observatorium, on behalf of Mistress Shatoto, that is. Leave that to me. I fear not all my friends are so open-minded. If they were to learn that I had allied myself with beastmen and practitioners of the dark arts, there's no telling what sort of twisted rumors might spread. Fear not, lie, you have my word that as healer and healer I will do aught I can to work toward a day when you and your fellows can stand proud and receive credit for all the good you have done. I could not bear to say this in his presence, but our healer friend has come quite far, wouldn't you say? I too would do everything in my power to make that day a reality. And with that, I do believe our job here is done. Shall we return to the Sacrarium? Don't waste the gil. Fucking dumbass. Miner's Guild. Welcome back, Arentel. Once again, I must express my gratitude for all you have done, as well as my profound respect. You have mastered our art to a degree that few of us ever attain. While it is not like me to dwell on such matters, I was just reflecting on the hero's words. Once again, the truth of the battle we waged will never be known to those who we fought to save. Needless to say, we do not do what we do for accolades or glory. We do it because it must be done, and to sate our own intellectual curiosity, and yet it does not sit well with me. No, I cannot just turn a blind eye while the deeds of my friends and mentors are swallowed by history never again to see the light. When the day will come that we can emerge from the shadows, I cannot say. But before that day, and for the eyes of all who follow in our footsteps, I would put all I have seen to paper, just as Master Kukuruka once did. All we have learned of our realm and the arcane, of course. But that is not all. I would write of the bravery of our beastmen friends, of a stubborn and self-important healer who against all odds proved himself a friend. Most of all, I would write of the illustrious founder of our glorious art, the adventurer who she would personally entrust with carrying on her legacy. Why, I dare say the chapter will write itself. Right, last part. Shouldn't take longer than about 20 minutes. Welcome back to these halls, Arentel of the Black. I sense that the dark powers in you are ever burgeoning. Pray tell, where have your travels taken you since last we met? I traveled to a world flooded with light. A journey to another world, you say? Intriguing, indeed. Consider me impressed, and even a bit envious. How are you able to peer into the past of the Archmage? How you were able to peer into the past of the Archmage Nilbert, and form a bond across the ages with his young friend Tainor? Though these circumstances are not entirely the same, I cannot help but think back to my own encounter with the great Shatoto. Speaking of which, I, too, have been keeping myself occupied, why I have recorded every detail we learned on our last adventure in writing, that we might preserve Shatoto's knowledge for posterity and avert any similar calamity that may threaten future generations. Just the other day, I put the finishing touches on the final chapter of the final volume, concluding with Shatoto's departure. There is, however, one lingering... Well, fancy that. I come to check up on Lalai here, and who do I find but our old friend Darentel? Well, if it isn't everyone's favorite mutton-headed here, I need neither your support nor your sympathy, but I suppose you've never been one to let that stop you. Come now, Lalai, you yourself mentioned that you were at a loss for what to do with the records you have scribed, or had scribed, yes? I simply hope to inquire as to whether there have been any fruitful developments on that front. So you mean to rub salt in my wounds, yes? There have been no developments, fruitful or otherwise. I consulted with my brothers and sisters of the Order of Nald Thal, but to the last man they refused to even entertain the thought. Consulted with... You mean to say that you are still a member of the Order? Why, I had always assumed you had been excommunicated for your pursuit of the dark arts. Excommunicated simply for the pursuit of knowledge? Perish the thought. Though, to be fair, there are many holier-than-thou types in the Order who share this pig-headed hearer's opinion. Irrespective of this, the fact remains that the Order sealed away countless tomes in their vaults when they forbid the art of black magic. Storing my own writings with them, I would argue, is the most logical option. But no, they are too prudish and prejudiced against yours truly to listen to reason. Then again, perhaps if a thaumaturge in good standing with the Order were to put in a good word on my behalf, you may indeed find a more sympathetic ear. What do you say, Arentel? Excellent. Then let us hurry to the ossuary and see if we can't convince that insufferably stuffy Yayake to see good sense. A moment, if you please, Arentel. To tell the truth, the question of where to store her records is not the only matter that concerns me about Lalai of late. Recently, I cannot help but feel that the etheric power within her is shifting, warping in ways I have not felt before. As for why this is, I cannot yet be sure. Until we discover more, pray look after her, will you? My apologies, but I believe it best that I remain here until your negotiations are complete. I shudder to think of the consequences if my colleagues at the Conjurers Guild found out I was conspiring with the likes of you and Lalai. Nothing personal, of course. Thaumaturge Guild. I swear, for a veteran of the Order, she still has all the sense of a simpering child. Arentel, well, this is an unexpected surprise, and not an entirely pleasant one, though it is by no fault of your own. The unmitigated gall of you, Lalai, did you honestly believe that dragging poor Arentel here, against his will, no doubt, would convince me to agree to housing your shameful scribblings in our archives? I have said it once, and I will say it again. Until the day you renounce the depraved teachings of Kukuruka, you will find no friends here. I would see these books burn before I give them a home here, for our sake and for your own. I swear, despite that pretentious monocle, you remain as blind as a bat to the big picture. Arentel of the Black, talk some sense into this overstuffed secretary. Should the tomes not be sealed away for safekeeping? At least one of us here is capable of communicating like an adult. I will grudgingly admit that there is one other who shares Lalai's sentiments. In fact, it is none other than our very own guildmaster, Master Kokobe... Oh, what was the name again? Kokobuki, ha! It does not surprise me in the least. Come, Arntel, let us present our case to someone wise enough to understand it. After all you have done for our guild, I felt you deserved an answer to your query, and so I gave you one, and yet I'd advise you to proceed with caution. The Lalai has few allies here, and I would hate to see your pristine reputation sullied by association. Who cares if everyone else in this place is an insufferable dunderhead? With the guildmaster himself on our side, the argument is as good as won. I was wondering who might be behind the screaming and stamping that echoed all the way to this chamber. Sister Lalai, was it? Yes, it is true. I find myself rather convinced by the young lady's argument. It is all but impossible for us to prevent any and all form of studying the dark arts. Why then not keep the dangerous knowledge close at hand, where we keep an ever-watchful eye on those who would pursue it? And yet, I fear that my own view is not a popular one. My power to influence the others is far from absolute. And so I would offer a proposal. Let us state our case directly to the head of the order, to Prioress Dulala herself, that she might pass judgment. You and Lalai shall argue in favor of accepting the tomes, and those opposing shall argue against. Should all go well, the Prioress will agree to the proposal. The tomes will have a safe home. And yet the plan is not without risk. Should your argument be less than convincing, there remains a chance that Dulala may expressly forbid any further research. Why, if she is in a particularly foul mood, your very place in the order may suddenly become quite tenuous. If there is any chance my words could be anything but persuasive, I accept. Pray summon the Prioress at her earliest convenience. Well, that settles it. We'd best hurry and prepare our argument. Out of our enemy's earshot, of course. Come with me, Arntel. For whatever it avails you, I shall voice my opinion in favor. No doubt, Prelate Yayake will take her place at the head of the opposition. On the other matter, is Lalai quite all right? I could not help but sense the aether within her swirling in a most unusual fashion. I'm sure that's fine. Lalai seems to be in unusually good spirits. I trust the negotiation went well, yet something concerns me. Go away. This is our chance, Arntel. We simply must convince the Prioress at all costs. The future of our art depends on it. What is this curious sensation? Lalai, I knew something was amiss. The aether within you is transforming in a most unusual way. I must admit, I've not felt quite myself lately in my head. It feels as heavy as stone. No, this will not do. I'm afraid I must insist that you submit to a full examination before the hearing commences. Oh no. Lalai, can you hear me? Someone, fetch a healer, or wait, that's me. This is no time for panicking, friend. We must carry her to the Phronostery with all speed. I do the stuttering here, motherfucker. Ooh, free teleport. I fear it is as I suspected. The etheric balance within her is broken down entirely, and unchecked energies are now eating away at her from within. I can only assume that playing host to Shatoto's memories has put a terrible strain on her, one from which she is yet to completely recover. It would seem that her mind and spirit are in mortal peril. I have never witnessed this degree of etheric imbalance before, and do not suppose you have. Actually, I saw a man transform into an unholy abomination. I see. I can scarcely imagine all you have witnessed in your travels, but an imbalance of aether similar to what I now observe in the lie would appear to be behind the phenomena you describe. If we can assume that the memories of Shatoto taking up residence and Lai's corporeal form have stimulated her etheric flow, causing it to shift violently in an astral direction, then only it stands to reason we could restore balance by introducing a counteracting umbral aspect. By the 12, I think I've got it. And yet the process will not be quick nor easy. I suppose we have no choice but to ask Master Kokobuki to delay the hearing. Delay the hearing? You lost what little wits you had? Why, if word got out that my condition was a result of my pursuit of the dark arts, it would all but seal Yayake's case against me. No, we must proceed as planned. Before our opponents are the wiser. Arntel, here is my magnum opus, the fruits of all we went through. Together, I leave them in your capable hands. Go ahead, and I will be along in due time. Are you mad? You can't possibly mean to attend the proceedings in your current condition. Of course not. Fortunately, I just so happen to know a hearer who, despite being an insufferable stick in the mud, has proven himself more than capable in the healing arts. Lalai. Very well. Leave it to me, and I will see that you are back on your feet before the judgment is rendered. Until then, I suppose it is up to our intel here. Godspeed, my friend. World-renowned hero saying, "Hey, man, maybe this isn't so bad." I think I stand a decent chance. I guess I'm not. You're not world renowned. No, yeah, because I'm fucking at least half the world renowned. Because of Storm's blood. Lalai will be joining the proceedings a touch late, you say. That is most unlike her, to say the least. She has entrusted the records to you. Very well. With any luck, we will be able to use them to our advantage. Now, allow me to see them. The prioress will be here soon. Lalai has not even the courtesy to arrive on time to the hearing she herself requested. I swear, the woman's selfishness knows no bounds. I move that her request be dismissed immediately. It is for her own good. Her own good? Yes, it is as I suspected. You speak from your own experience, don't you, child? I recall that you, too, once took an unpopular position in support of your erstwhile master, Mu Ippo, one that earned you only the ire of your brothers and sisters. Yes, and what of it? I fought for a hopeless cause that in the end served only to isolate me from my peers. Is it so wrong that I wish to save Lalai from a similar fate? She must abandon this farce at once and return to her rightful place in the order. To this I cannot agree. In the short time before these proceedings, I pursued what I could of these tomes. In their pages are written not only forbidden secrets of black magic, but accounts of astounding phenomenon, the likes of which even I could scarcely imagine. Lalai conducted her research without the support or interference of the order. The fruits that research has borne cannot be denied. While our guild could not support 1,000 others like her, I see little to gain from stifling one woman's passion and forcing her to work within such rigid rules and regulations. The merits of both arguments are not lost on me, and yet I must confess a degree of ignorance about the matter at hand. All know that black magic was forbidden for its role in bringing disaster to our world, and yet you still practice this art. Tell me, adventurer, is this magic as calamitous as the rumors say? It depends on who wields it, and to what end. If I understand you correctly, you would argue that in the right hands, even the art of destruction might serve the greater good. And yet, how are we to be certain that the Sister Lalai can be trusted with such potentially ruinous knowledge? My apologies, Prioress. By your leave, I would tell my tale. Black magic is an inherently dangerous art. This I cannot and will not deny. Never would I suggest that even a single mage pursue this path without full knowledge of the perils that lie ahead. That is precisely why I have recorded in painstaking detail not only the arcane knowledge I have gleaned, but every last one of the myriad phenomenon, both wondrous and terrifying, I have experienced in its pursuit. Unbreakable bonds formed with beastmen we once thought our sworn enemies, bodies and souls consumed by the pursuit of forbidden knowledge, an unspeakable calamity we visited upon our world after millennia. We must leave this knowledge to posterity, that our sons and daughters do not repeat the mistakes of our past. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. This is the crux of your argument, yes? Very well. Master Kokobuki, I hereby order you to establish a research organization under the auspices of your guild to further study the impact of black magic. I also grant you permission to store the aforementioned tomes in your archives, under the condition that Sister Lalai oversees them. Damn. You fucking rat. Understood. I will see that both the tomes and Lalai herself find a safe home within our halls. I am still not entirely convinced, but if the Guildmaster himself is willing to accept responsibility, I have no reason to oppose. Prioress Dulala, Master Kokobuki, I cannot thank you enough. Mark my words, you will not regret this decision. I will see to it that this knowledge is passed down as it should be, that the errors of our past will never be repeated. To think the day would come that our art would be recognized once more. Well, I do believe the proceedings went about as well as could be expected. I suppose this means that Lalai is now directly under my supervision. Don't think you'll be getting free reign around here simply because I vouched for you, child. I expect regular reports on any and all of your findings. Only through transparency will black magic ever be accepted by doubters and skeptics. Understood. I shall begin to prepare my first report at once. But before that, there is another with whom I'd like to share these tidings. That is, by your leave, Guildmaster. I believe you know well of whom I speak. He waits us at the sacrarium. Come along, Arntel. I am relieved to see the girl's etheric balance restored. I suppose it was one of your companions who aided in this, yes? Lalai has already shared the good news with me, why I could not be happier for the both of you. And so, you see, I simply thought that, well, whatever is the matter, Lalai, this is your moment of triumph. I would expect you to be more triumphant. Of course I am. It's simply that, well, clearly I do not, I could not have, I did not accomplish this on my own, so Arntel the Black, and yes, you as well, Zahayanella, have my deepest gratitude. Well, I dare say this has been a monumentous day in more ways than one. Once again, my congratulations, and you are most welcome. And with that, I should be on my way. When next we meet, I would introduce my colleagues from Silkade Fane. Now that you are no longer a pariah, I suppose they would not be averse to exchanging knowledge with you. Just when I was beginning to take a liking to that dolt. At any rate, though, my official position may have changed, but my mission remains the same. I will do all in my power to preserve our art for future generations. Pray continue to lend me your aid, Arntel of the Black. Arntel, my friend of the Black, the very founder of our ancient art, has entrusted you with carrying on her legacy. I'm proud to say that you, if anyone, are surely up to the task. If there is aught I can do to aid you, you need but say the word. Tales of your exploits in Garlemald and beyond have not escaped my ears. That the power of destruction that lies within you could bring salvation to those beasts, those beset by war and calamity, is a testament to your dedication to the dark arts. As a matter of fact, Master Kokobuki urged me to join the Ilsebart contingent alongside selected members of the guild. To my eternal disgrace, however, the accursed Yayake saw fit to cast a sleeping enchantment upon me from the shadows. While my colleagues departed for parts unknown, I was left here sleeping like a newborn. I shall never forgive her for robbing me of this chance of a lifetime. And with that, Black Mage, after damn near 5 months, is done. Quite good. I enjoyed that greatly. If not for incredible burnout and the weight of adjusting to a new job for a year it took me, man. I would have had it done much sooner. Next stream, which may be tomorrow. Nope. Oh, that's not right. Which maybe tomorrow. No promises. I do close today, so it really depends how quickly I'm able to get to sleep, wake up, etc. It is tenable. Just not guaranteed. Almost guaranteed. Actually, almost guaranteed. I mean, like, time limits and all. But hey, I will be starting the Dawn Trail role quests. It will be my first time playing them. I'm very excited to have my fucking mentor status back. Oh man, and oh boy, can I not wait for Evercold when I don't have to wait. Well, have to, air quotes, wait. Over almost 2 years to get my mentor status back, because I will simply have it done. No backlog to work through means no excuse to put off doing something, right? But I do believe that is all. So, I want to thank anyone for stopping by who did. I really appreciate anyone who gives me the time of day. And until I stream again, have a good one, all.